It was so fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah, that was a cool. I love that guy and those ants and
Pablo.
the crowd and the whole crew was awesome.
Yeah, everybody was very kind to us. It took us a minute to figure out, because the translation, it was so loud in our heads, and I'm sure the first like segment or two we were trying to catch up to what was being said.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I think we did okay. It was a lot of fun. We don't have shows like that in America that are like that. We had a good time. Thank you for having us.
No, I really don't. I think without Daryl, the whole show would crumble.
Downhill.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. I think any of the characters are they should all watch their backs. I mean, I think Rick could go, I could go, Negan could go. I think anybody could go on that show. It's you know, that's part of the appeal of the show. Is it's like real life. You never know when someone's going to go, and you always think you have more time with people. So I think the more precious that is, the more precious the relationships are, and I, you know, I think that's part of it. And I don't think it's like Survivor Island or anything like that, where who's going to get written off this week. But it's definitely the more that it's like real life, the better. Wow, I think Herschel was a big one. I think when he died, I think he was sort of, you know, the moral compass of the show for a while. You know, he's who those characters looked up to for advice and
Father figure.
And father figure and wisdom and, you know, all of it. And that was rough. Beth was rough. Shane changed the dynamic as well when he was trying to do that, and it made Rick start fighting more. Sarah was a huge one.
Glenn
was a huge. They're all big.
They're all big.
They're all big. Yeah.
I mean, look, there's going to be people out there. Sure. I mean, I think people were very upset about the death of Glenn and Abraham, and I got it. I mean, I understand that, and we kind of knew that was going to happen. But it was sort of a necessity at this time to move the story forward in the show, and I think the fans have figured that out and accepted that, and in accepting how the story needs to move forward, they've kind of taken Negan under their wing and accepted him. Maybe they don't like him, but I think they like to hate him, and that's good enough for me. It's cool. About being killed, I think he could. I mean, I don't know. No one's talked to me about it, and I'll take that as a good sign. But I mean, he also could go at any moment. I feel like Norman just said, you know, we don't know. We don't know how the story is going to turn or what the showrunners decide they're going to do until they tell us. I mean, Negan could go soon, or he might be around for years. You know, we don't know how long the show's going to go or how it's going to end. So we'll see. I hope Negan stays around as long as possible, just so I could go to work with these guys every day.
Well, I mean, I think that the characters are what people latch onto, and you know, they go through this journey with the characters, and I think people like to tune in and see those characters and their relationships with the other characters. It's a people show as much as it is anything else, and I think people like to watch these characters go through all these things and stick up for each other and fight with each other, and you know, it's one of those worlds where, you know, these are your 2 feet on the ground, and you fight for the things you believe in, or you don't fight for the things you believe in. And I think people like to watch these people go through those things. You know, I think that's the story. You know,
and I think every audience member can relate to at least one character in the show. You know, this it's such a diverse group of people that are on this program. That the audience really can relate. Not only do they want to see where the story and the journey takes them, but they love these characters, and there's always someone that they can relate to and walk in those shoes, and that's a great thing to be able to give to an audience, and that's a credit to, you know, Kirkman and Gimple and the actors that are portraying these characters.
I think for Daryl, the most shocking things that had happened to him on the show were definitely having to kill his brother. That was a huge one. The death of Beth was a huge one. Rick telling him that he's you're my brother, and that was a huge one. Everything with Carol has been huge for him. Finding the prison was a huge one because now he got put into a different career path during those episodes.
The Emily stuff.
The Emily stuff, the Beth stuff, I said. I mean, even the very beginning of his journey, you know, having to choose between this group and that group, and his brother doing all these horrible things, and he knows he's wrong, and you know, his brother like saying things about Glenn, and you know, he goes back at him and tells his brother, "You're small-minded," and all these things. It's all those things have been turning points for him on this journey. So it's been a continual storyline for him. You know, it's not just one thing; it's a series of things that have happened.
I think for Negan, I mean, I haven't been around a long time yet, but two things that stand out would be his introduction. Certainly, I think when we meet Negan is a big moment for that character in particular. And then I really enjoyed the stuff with Carl. You know, I think we saw a little bit of a different side of Negan, a glimpse of maybe who he used to be. And I think that's fascinating. And you know, there's much more to go for the rest of the year, this year. So we'll see what else we learn about Negan. I can't give anything away. I can't give as many examples because I've only been here, you know, we've only seen, 10 episodes with Negan in them, so.
When we found out you were a cross-dresser, that was a big moment on the show.
Yeah, that was weird. I was hoping you wouldn't find that out.